Alright class, today's lesson will be about trapezoids, 8.6. So here we go. Trapezoids, as you can see by the definition, is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. The parallel sides are called bases. The base angles are formed by a base and one of the legs. The non-parallel sides are called legs. So if you look at this trapezoid for a moment, okay, there is the top base, there's the bottom base, they're parallel. The left leg and the right leg are not parallel. That's why they're called legs. Moving on. So here are some theorems about parallelograms. First of all, both pairs of base angles of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent, and the diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So in this case, we're talking about isosceles trapezoids. So here's the top base, here's the bottom base, and what's interesting is that this leg is congruent to this leg. Therefore, it's an isosceles trapezoid and not just your regular trapezoid. Now, knowing that this is an isosceles trapezoid, you should be aware that this base angle is congruent to this base angle, and that this base angle is congruent to this base angle, and that this diagonal is congruent to this diagonal. Okay, moving on. Example number 1, we'll probably look at that in class. Example number 2, we'll look at that in class. Example number 3, we'll also look at that in class. Now, when you have a trapezoid, there's something called the median. The segment that joins midpoints of the legs of a trapezoid is the median. What that means is that the median is halfway between the top and the bottom. So if you look at this leg and you cut it in half, you get a midpoint. You look at this leg and you cut that in half, you get a midpoint. When you connect this midpoint to this midpoint, you formed the median. So here's a theorem relating the trapezoid to its median. The median of a trapezoid is parallel to the bases, and its measure is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the bases. Okay, now that sounds a little confusing. Here we have a trapezoid. The top base is up here, the bottom base is down here, and the median is in the middle. And what's interesting is that the median is parallel to the top and the bottom base. Okay? And in addition to that, you can figure out how long the median is by using this equation. The median is half of the top base plus the bottom base. So for instance, if the top base is 5 and the bottom base is 10, the median would be 7.5. If you think about it, the median is simply the average length between the top base and the bottom base. Here's example number 4. In example number 4, it tells you that QR is 22, and it tells you that XY is 15. So they tell you the top base, and they tell you the median, and you're supposed to figure out what the bottom base is. Okay? And yes, you can use this equation to figure it out, but you can also use some logic. For instance, 22 is 7 bigger than 15, right? So from here, if this is 22 and this is 15 and they're 7 apart, what you can do is subtract another 7 from 15 to figure out that TS is 8. If you didn't get that, we'll discuss it in class. Moving on. We go on to our homework, and that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tomorrow when we get into class, we will be doing the homework assignment together. Bye class.